Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Lightning. Going over the matchmaking, we are looking at triple radar cruisers, Moskva, Buffalo, Seattle. For the DDs, we're looking at Shimakaze, Z46, and Z23. The only real threat to me, DD-wise, is the Shimakaze. The radar cruisers, they can be a bit of an issue, so, um, always got to be mindful of them. Now, well, I'm headed where I'm going. I'm going to try to explain my thoughts behind this. This map is highly dependent on being able to hold your flank. And AB is a bad choice, just as BC is a bad choice. You need ships to control both flanks. As soon as you give up a seam and they're able to push ships down here, you get crossfired and your game's over. Um, so I am the only DD in the East. I am going to head to CCAP. My intention is to get some spots in here to basically pick up the ships that are coming this way from spawn. Maybe be able to cap C if I get a chance. And in general, just provide vision for my team. Find an enemy DD and kill him because uh, this is an excellent destroyer hunter. Um, so, just going through here, double checking the matchmaking. Um, this is, I think this is probably, this is my second game in Lightning since I actually got it live. I did some testing with it prior to release, but this is, this is, you know, mine, the permanent one on my account. Um, Looking at the captain skills, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. This is just a 10-point captain, so this is on the low scale of what you should be expecting from your captain at this point. At tier 8, I think you should be able to have a 12 or 13-point captain easy, and if you're using flags, 14 and 15 is not outside of the realm of possible. Um, I paused this. I wanted to just explain why I'm blind firing torpedoes. And that is, I'm coming up into this pocket here, and I love this pocket on the map. I do the same thing up in on the north spawn here. I'm able to get vision on anything trying to enter the cap here. I'm able to get vision up uh, up into this area of the map. And I'm also able to easily back onto the cap, get into cover. I can do a lot of things from this position, but what I can't do is I can't get torps off in this angle. So while I'm pulling in, I've got the torps. I'm just throwing some make-a-wishes out there. Maybe I get lucky, hit a DD, hit a radar cruiser that's rushing in. Uh, it's these are just general area denial harassment torps. Nothing fancy. Uh, so I'm going to push in here. I'm going to get into these rocks. And one thing to note with the Royal Navy destroyers, I don't really lose that much speed um, while I'm working in the corners or while I'm turning and getting situated. It's something that you will have to adjust to. Uh, Another important thing, I've got hydro. Use your consumables. Another DD could, torp this way, just like I torped his path. I've got hydro. Why not use it? It may save me from eating a torpedo, and that's pretty good. Now, gonna pause it right here, and what I'm doing at this stage, I'm not even looking at my screen here. I'm looking at my mini map. And what I'm looking at is I'm doing the math. Where's the ships that are priorities for me? There's the Shima, there's the Z46. Excuse my alarm. Um, these ships pushing in this aggressive manner tells me that there's a DD down here. This only being 3 DDs, the Z-23 is here somewhere. So that's telling me already what destroyer I'm facing. So I know in my head I'm going to be looking at, sets of 8 torpedoes, low alpha, pretty good reload. Um, you know, they're really fast, good torpedoes. So it's going to remind me I need to, pay attention. Um, it's not much of a gun threat. It's not much of a hydro threat. So, in my head, I've already worked out how I can fight this Z-23. So I don't see any radar cruisers. We've got the Moskva here. The 11.1 circle on the mini map tells me at a glance I'm well outside of his radar range. Um, and you know, this is how I play. This portion of the game. I pick up the St. Louis, and I'm just looking, seeing what's popping up, seeing what's not. This is the advantage of having your mini map properly configured. I'm getting just inside the cap. I'm actually a little further than I would normally be if I was just capping, but that's because I want to get as much vision as I can up in this direction, because there might be a radar cruiser trying to sneak in here, and I want to try to cut that off and get some early warning. The Seattle pops up. And again, process of elimination. I'm just ticking things off. Okay, the Buffalo popped up. That's all the radar cruisers accounted for. The Buffalo's headed in an opposite direction. So I'm going to push up here, and I was thinking about dropping torps on either the North Carolina, the St. Louis, but Z-23 pops up. And I was actually hoping that I was going to have more time to shoot that guy. I popped my smoke, and when I popped my smoke, I waited until the smoke actually enveloped me before shooting. I didn't want to leave a signature on the mini map as to where I was. Z-23 enters the cap. I'm just going to launch some Make-A-Wish torpedoes, and my smoke's wearing off. And there's his torpedoes. Spotted him with hydro. That's telling me he's somewhere in this upper part of the cap. He actually smokes up, and this is going to be an interesting play. You guys will probably think it's a little dirty, but this is what I'm talking about using a position of cover. You can make plays that you otherwise couldn't. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get into a position where only ships here can spot me, here can spot me, and here can spot me. And looking at the mini-map, there's not really much that's in that area that's going to be able to do that. These guys pushing up, if they push in here, they can spot me. If they push in, another, half a grid square, they might be able to spot me with a plane, a spotter plane, not a fighter plane. But nobody's really going to be able to shoot me other than this Z-23, and I've got smoke in 22 seconds. So I'm just coming in here, and I am just going to start shooting this guy. I mean, right off the bat, I know he's in the smoke because I can't see him. I am inside of his spotting range, and I can take his smoke clouds that are beyond the cap cones, or the buoys for the cap, and I can forget about him. He's not there. So I can quickly determine where this guy is at in the cap, and with my rate of fire, I can, target here, 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 here until I get hits. This guy made it easy. He shot, so I'm already in the ballpark. And what I'm doing, even if he doesn't shoot, I am just going based off, my hits. I'm looking, oh, I only got a piece here. Well, I think he's headed in this direction. I'm going to shoot here. I think he going in reverse? I'd lead back here. And I'm just going to try to pick this guy apart. And just got a little bit there, only one hit. This guy still hasn't figured it out. He's still shooting. But, you know, I'm starting to land more and more hits, okay? Think he's going forward now, so pop a shot off thinking, you know, he might be leaving the smoke. But this guy stopped. So, okay, I gotta switch my aim back. And by the way, I have zoomed in an extra click than I normally do, just so I can really see as much of this area of the cap that I can to get a finer aiming point. And you know, just over and over again. This guy's got a short duration smoke screen. My entire objective is I don't need radar to defend this cap. I'm not gonna let this guy cap. His smoke's already starting to run out. His ship's, you know, he's had a bunch of different modules busted on it. He pops up, his engine's busted. Right off the bat, big old hit. Plus he has a torp tube knocked out. And this guy's in bad shape. He's gonna die here. And I'm staying purposely, you know, outside of the rock so I could keep that guy spotted. Now I'm typing, torpedoes coming. It would be a damn shame to eat torp, so always be mindful. You know, that is actually a misplay right there. That's, you know, coming too close. I know better than that, but that was just me kind of laughing at the situation of 14 base resets on a DD that pretty much was never detected in there. So this North Carolina, I can already tell this guy's not going to enter the cap. He's not going to be able to cap it, and he, you know, he knows he's going to get torped to shit in here. So I'm going to launch one set of torps just to make sure I zone this guy out. And with the DD dead, I'm just going to start shifting into the harassment phase of the fight for the Royal Navy destroyers. And what that means is every time these guys push up to try to take my cap, they're going to have to deal with me. I'm going to be torping them. I'm going to be, you know, smoked up, shooting them, lighting them on fire. You know, just a general pain in the ass anytime they get near the cap. My smoke's running out. So all these guys, you know, they're not really lit. I need to get out here and get some relights on them, respot them, update my team on where these guys, where their position is. So pulling off some spots. I got all three of the battleships spotted. And I've got a Tirpitz I think is going to be doing some spotting here. I actually popped this smoke a little too early. But I basically popped the smoke, and yeah, that's a misplay right there. Seconds matter with these smokes. So I'm just a little too early there. That cost me probably one, maybe two volleys right there. And again, just harassing these guys. I want to drive them completely outside of my max gun range. And this is what I talk about when I posted in the forum about zoning the enemy out with your smoke screens. My smoke pushed this guy all the way outside of the cap. He's all the way, you know, near the max gun range on my ship. And I'm looking at things. This Tirpitz, I'm telling him to get back. He's basically entering a crossfire with the Montana and the two battleships here. You know, really at this point, he's either dead or he's going to take too much damage. He should have instead kited south of the cap to avoid the crossfire from the Montana, and he could have stayed anchored to the battleships here. But instead pushing up in this direction, you're just going to get wrecked. And I mean, it's only a matter of time. This guy, he's healthy now, but he's going to be dead in short order. I'm pushing up in this direction, mainly because I think that my Yamato is going to be able to hold out for a little bit, and I foresee these two battleships making this play to try to push this channel. So I want to get in here and try to cut them off and make this, you know, a dangerous play for them, because I'm sure they want to push up. They see the Tirpitz that's trapped, and they're going to assume that a cruiser is on B cap. So it would be a really powerful play if they're able to push in here and kill these two radar cruisers. So just not going to let it happen. And again, you can see how fast Crossfire kills these things. I go on ahead, I launched the Torps expecting the Massachusetts to angle to the Tirpitz. You know, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. He's gonna turn out, give broadside a bit, and he's gonna dodge these Torps. I should have opened that Torp spread up a little bit more, and I probably would have got at least one torpedo hit if I would have staggered it. You know, one where I thought he was going to go, and then one like half to 3/4 of an indicator back. But I'm going to go on ahead, pop a smoke, and again, harassment. This guy's trying to push this choke, and you know he's got a DD right on his flank. I believe you just damage controlled. I'm switching to AP, see if I can get anything done with AP, but I already see this guy angling, so I'm going to just go ahead and switch back to HE and do what I can to just keep up the pressure on this guy, get a fire on him. Again, these things have a pretty good fire chance. I got a double fire on him, and I'm just going to pull out. No sense in me, you know, risking my ship or anything like that. I got a double fire on this guy. That's a lot of pressure on him. My torps are going to be available here shortly. And, you know, just playing safe. I was plane spotted momentarily. It is a Massachusetts, so, you know, secondary central. I'm just launching my torps. I expect this Massachusetts to make a turn into CCAP. They're starting to enter, you know, desperation levels where they're going to be, they're going to start running out of breathing room with points and ships. And this Massachusetts, he sees me. He's starting to turn to push into cap. This is the move that I was anticipating. And this is a dead Massachusetts. That shot, I should have already transitioned target to the North Carolina in the background. I can't really see what the North Carolina's doing. He just took a big hit. Looks like the North Carolina's reversing. So, gonna go on ahead and aim up a bit more on his ship. And at this point, this game, we're up 3 caps, you know, up a bunch of ships. I'm healthy. I'm just going to keep gunboating. You know, I want to try to get this guy down. The St. Louis pops up, and I know that I'm being shot at, but I want to make sure this guy gets finished off before he's able to get a heal off. I get a fire on him, so that's good enough for me. I'm just going to go ahead and start disengaging. That fire actually forced that damage control on the battleship. So I'm just gonna chill out now, and you know, just taking a look around, seeing what's going on. You got to remember the St. Louis does have torpedoes, so I should expect torpedoes coming across to cap. I would throw them if I were the St. Louis and I wasn't trying to YOLO that Yamato. The Buffalo finally pops up. But again, I'm just, at this point, I'm playing safe. We're at 930 points. Just providing vision for the team. You know, anything coming my way, potentially kill it. You know, that's pretty much the game. I included this game mainly to talk a bit more about the play style of the Royal Navy destroyers. You can kind of really see that hit and run play style that I'm talking about. And then, of course, wanted to discuss, um, shooting into smoke like that. That wasn't one of the best examples I've had of just absolutely dirty, um, underhanded, just, tactic. Just, there was nothing that guy could have done. I mean, even if he was just, as long as he was sitting in that cap, I was going to get him. It was just a matter of how long it'd take me. Um, so, hope you guys enjoyed this game. Um, I see some people saying that this line's useless. I don't see it. Um, you know, it's a unique play style, and you need to play it that way. You don't have a lot of HP in these things, um, so it's not like a regular gunboat that you can stay and just like duke it out a little bit. You very much need to play cautious and play the vision game, and use your smoke screen to constantly be able to harass and at the same time preserve your hit points. That's critical to learn in the low and mid tier DDs. Once you get to the high tier where you get a heal, you're able to tank and play a little bit more than before. But these DDs, they're driving home the lesson. You don't have the hit points to, just go full gunboat. And obviously, with the detection on these things, it's a good thing that it's like that. I mean, 5.5 kilometer detection. Uh, you're near the best in high tier in the game with Kagero at 5.4. Um, and this is a nasty DD for Kagero because most of the DPM is right up front. It's not like a Benson or something that has to angle out to give full DPM. This thing can keep 66% of the DPM driving straight at a Kagero. So uh, this is a nasty ship for Kagero to deal with. And I think if it had it really anymore, it would just completely, kill the torp line of the Japanese DDs just because the gun arrangements on the ship and the concealment. Um, these things are really really good destroyers. They're not team they're not team play boats though. This isn't a ship that I'm taking in a division um, with like a radar cruiser or something like that because I provide nothing to my radar cruiser. I can spot, but I can't smoke him up. I can't do anything like that. U.S. destroyers are still the king at that. Um, so if you want to get the most out of this line, adopt to the play style. You cannot make these ships play how you want to play them. You have to play them to their strengths. Same thing with any of the destroyer line. So, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Kind of rambled on a little bit, but I hope you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you later.